JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 26th of November 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So, not a lot is happening today. However, let me just quickly run through this. So we're not going to have a very long session today. So just basically just see what's happening right now in the market. So the German DAX here, you can see, did drift a little bit lower today at one point. However, got pulled back up here, and it currently remains above that 13,300 zone. So in a way, everything's kind of looking quite positive here for the for this index, especially if it continues to balance above the that 13,300 zone. So, well, keep your eyes on this one, guys. Again, like I said, not much is happening today. Today's the US is closed, and yep, maybe we'll have a bit of more movement going into tomorrow. So for now, let's keep an eye on that 13,300 level. The FTSE 100, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but basically, previously I talked about this idea where we could consider maybe a bit of a correction here to the downside, and at one point it looked like we could already reach that 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci. As you can see, this barrier here near the 6,464 continues to provide decent resistance, and in a way, if it does do that, and if it continues to provide that resistance, then well, we definitely probably, or no, I wouldn't say definitely, but probably we could see this idea working out. But again, for now, we're very careful, especially also if the pound continues to strengthen. Then, as we know, that if the pound strengthens, then it's worse for the FTSE 100, and normally FTSE 100 goes down if the British pound gets stronger. But again, at the moment, guys, we're stuck here. Again, probably won't happen anything today, but keep your eyes on this one tomorrow, or even on Monday. Probably Monday could be a more interesting trading day, as it would be the last trading day for November. Ibex here, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but basically, if you remember previously, a couple of weeks ago, or actually maybe more than that, I talked about this idea here of a possible falling wedge pattern, which of course, according to all the TA rules, tends to break to the upside. And as you can see, everything worked out perfectly according to all the rules, and yep, we had this nice explosion and a push higher. Now the or should I say, the index found yesterday resistance near this 8,200 level, from which it, as you can see today, it kind of corrected lower. It's still in correction mode. However, it remains above this peak here of the 16th of November, which is around the 8,102 zone, or in a way we could round it up towards the 8,100. So basically, the the index is stuck in this little kind of 100-point range here. So in a way, for now, what we should do here is probably just wait, because again, we can speculate as much as we want, but once we, let's say, get a strong move through one of these levels, then yes, that's when we will consider the next kind of short-term directional move. So for example, if we get a nice good daily candle staying below this 8,100 level, now this could be quite interesting, because on the from the very short-term perspective, in a way, it could also break this upside support line. Tentative, of course, but nevertheless a short-term upside support line, which in a way, and this break in a way could open the door to slightly lower areas. For example, we could then target the this little area here, this little obstacle, the 7,823 zone, or a little bit lower here we have this area near the 7,676 territory, which in a way could also coincide with the 21-day EMA, let's say, by the time it could travel lower. But again, all this we'll consider if we get a nice good strong move below this 8,100 zone and this short-term upside support line. As if this upside line continues to remain intact, then well, of course, keep your eyes on this 8,200 zone. A push above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and then we could start looking at the 8,310 zone marked by the low of the 6th of March, or even slightly higher levels. But again, at the moment, that's the situation here. Another index, and this one is the dollar index. Today, the dollar pushed higher, and it didn't really reach my target here, this 91.75 territory. However, still not all is lost here for the sellers, because if the index struggles to get back above the 92.24 zone right here, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for more sellers, as I said, and we could see this one drifting lower, because the sellers could take advantage of the higher price and drive this one lower. In case this pushes higher here and overcomes this 92.61 territory right here, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting, because at the same time the price would be placed above the 21-day EMA and more buyers could join in. So basically the same analysis remains for now. Now jumping into cryptos, Bitcoin, this morning I talked about this one, and we were still above this 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci, and what I was saying that if we get a drop below this, then yes, we will aim for that 21-day EMA first of all, and then maybe some of these levels like the 16,481 zone, or this upside support line taken from the low the 19th of October. So in a way, for now everything's kind of leading towards that, towards the fact that we could see a nice test of this upside line. So of course keep your eyes on that one. Be very careful, that's probably the most important, because if by any chance this upside line gets broken, well, I mean, this could in a way lead to some further declines, guys, and you can see here we do have some good opportunities, good levels, like for example the 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, which is around the 15,888 zone, or the 50% retracement here, which is around the 14,688 zone, so approximately around there. So good potential targets, good potential levels, but for those we need to see a break of this upside line. If this upside line remains intact, yep, a nice rebound and could be possible. So a nice rebound and a push higher could be possible. So be very careful. Also keep your eyes, continue monitoring this 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci, because if by any chance the daily candle remains above this area, maybe all this could be even could look even more positive for Bitcoin, and yep, we could see this one pushing back up. But for now, it is where it is. For now, I'm kind of aiming for this upside support line. Ethereum has broken the upside support line. I talked about this morning, but you can see that the daily candle still remains above it. So it did give us a false breakout. However, let's see how this day is going to end, or I wouldn't say how this day is going to end basically, and where this daily candle is going to remain, because if it stays below this upside line, well, we could go for slightly lower areas. But at the moment, still everything is possible for the bulls here, especially, like I said, if this daily candle remains above this upside line, because we'll just consider this little drop here as a false breakout. Ripple here a little bit more difficult here, because basically as I talked about this one this week, and basically what I was saying, that if it drifts lower here, but let's say fails to drop below the 0.57 territory, then we could see a nice rebound and a push back to the upside. However, it dropped below the 0.57 territory. Just to remind you, that level, what that level was, that was the highest point of November of 2018, and it dropped below it. It drifted further south. It did reach one of our targets here, this 0.4694 level, approximately around here. So could in a way round it up towards the 0.47 mark. I did reach that area, and now kind of rebounded from it, and is now currently sitting near this 0.51 zone, which is, by the way, let me just show you, it's the highest point of June of 2019. So this is where Ripple is currently kind of hanging around. Again, a similar story with the rest, like with the rest of cryptos. Maybe we could see this one drifting a little bit lower. However, let's see if one of these support areas will continue, will provide us good support, because this idea that I talked about previously already kind of worked out. Because a drop below the 0.57 territory kind of led to a move towards these levels. This is what I was targeting initially. Now the big question here is, like I said, can these levels provide support? We do have the 21-day EMA approaching this area as well, so that might kind of come in handy for the bulls. However, we need that confirmation kind of rebound first before, let's say, aiming for the upside again. Jumping into a few pairs very quickly, USDCHF, quite interesting. Of course, the dollar index is pushing higher. This way, we can see that the USDCHF pair is also kind of trying to make its way higher. Initially, it did drop lower. Yesterday, as you can see, it remained below the 0.1990 level. I talked about this a lot this week, and now, yes, although we are seeing this nice move higher, still, as you can see, the 0.1993 actually, you can see that the rate is struggling to get back above it. So that's kind of raising concerns here in the bull block. And if that continues to happen, if the rate cannot get above the 0.1993 territory, then, well, I mean, we could consider maybe a bit of a decline here towards this 0.9031 level. And if you remember my previous analysis, that's still valid. GBPUSD. So here the pair is correcting lower. However, it still remains above this 1.3313 level right here. So after we managed to break this nice resistance area, it traveled higher. The pair found resistance around here near the 1.34 mark, and not far from there. And and then today you can see that it's reversing back down. Now, of course, I would say like this, that if the rate continues to balance above the 1.3313 territory right here, then there is a good chance for this one to rebound and maybe make its way higher again. However, something else that I really wanted to show you here as well on GBPUSD is that, let me just quickly draw this one on the chart. So we have this upside line here, which, of course, as long as it remains intact, could kind of continue providing support for this pair. However, on the other hand, we most likely have ourselves here a possible kind of rising wedge pattern, which means that, of course, if you know, according to all the TA rules, such patterns tend to break to the downside. Now, until we get that break, we cannot really talk about that, because again, it can move inside this pattern for quite a while, but let's say once we get a breakout through the lower side of the rising wedge here, then yes, we could consider the downside. And to be honest, this highlighted area couldn't come at a better place as it is right now. So basically, also if we get a drop below the 1.3313 territory right here, now that's where, yep, we could start looking at some further declines, and yep, further downside here could be possible. And finally, but again, let me just reiterate that very quickly, we need that confirmation break first, because again, one thing is that it could be forming this, but if we don't get a confirmation break, we cannot really do anything, and we cannot really jump ahead of the game, let's put it this way, because again, let's be protected, let's be careful, and let's be cautious about this, because again, we've seen strong reversals happening several times. So yeah, that's why wait for that confirmation break, guys. And finally, EURUSD. So drifting back down, initially it did push higher above this 1.1918 level. It was sitting here in the morning. However, as you can see, that the strength of the dollar did kind of help this pair move back down, back below this 1.1918 level. However, on the positive note, the rate still remains above this 1.1880 territory. So in a way, as long as it stays above this area, there is still a chance for the bulls to step in and drive this one higher. However, if you want to be a little bit more on the safe side, now given that we had already all this activity, well, I would probably wait for a push above this 1.1918 level again, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, because as you can see, looking at these two daily candles, we can see that the rate kind of struggles. It continues to struggle to remain above this hurdle. So this way, pointing out that this is quite an important level to watch in that case. So we did get these false breakouts. Now the rate is kind of back below this hurdle, and in a way, like I said, if we want to be a little bit more on the safe side, watch this area, watch this barrier, this 1.1918 zone, a nice good pop above it, and if we see the daily candle staying above it, then yes, that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for more buyers. So keep your eyes on that one. So guys, I really hope you found it useful. This was a quick session here today. Not much is happening, but hopefully tomorrow we'll get a bit more volatility. If you want to join my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Traders Espresso, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening, stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.